And today is Matt the underdog.
Probably not.
Today, who is Matt?
A competitor. A contender.
Every great leader you admire, no matter how much success they show, has something they're still working through. Today, we're not talking about the version of them you already know. We're talking about the version they don't always show. All right, my man. I feel like it's been a long time coming. I feel like we've been texting about being on the podcast for, I don't know, since the podcast started.
Yeah.
So I super appreciate you being with me today. So I think per our usual conversations and per our usual text conversations, we'll just sort of stick in that same theme of get right into the deep end. So what would you say is one thing that is hard in your life right now?
The most prominent thing is probably getting all of the pieces to align at the same time.
Tell me about that.
So, small business owner, multiple small businesses, and some are consumer facing, some are client facing. And I feel like for a long time, we've been on the verge of greatness. Like we've done some great things. We've done some really exciting things, but to sustain it, you really kind of need alignment. And I feel like we've never truly captured that. So it feels like something elusive that we're chasing, that we're excellent in a few areas. Even for myself, like with the client facing stuff, I'm excellent in some areas,
Sure.
But missing just something in another area. And it's different things at different times. Sometimes it's working capital. Sometimes it's just an extra pair of hands, just not enough bandwidth. Sometimes it's the right client, at the right time.
Yep. I do know. Shout out. I love all my current clients, but yes, yes, I do know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like you are closer to achieving set alignment because, let me start there before I give a secondary question.
I think so.
Okay.
I think, entrepreneurship, there's a lot of experimenting and, people call that fake it till you make it, but we'll call it experimenting.
Well, trial and error.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like our swings have gotten more narrow through the years. And so, in the beginning, it was like, I don't know how to do this. Nobody that I know knows how to do this. So let's take a shot in the dark and try this thing way over here. And okay, well, that definitely didn't work. So let's go all the way to the other side and try something over here. And so I think as time has gone on and we've had errors on various ends of the spectrum, I think our decisions and risks even have gotten more calculated and a little closer to the middle of the spectrum. So there's a little less wobble now. So yeah, I do think we're getting close. I think the risks are becoming more calculated. The systems and structure are getting tightened up a little bit more. So I do think we're close.
Yeah. I sort of experience in my life, nothing is as fast as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And everything happens faster than I expected. It's like this weird, which I know, like, we just say that sounds like that's the dumbest thing ever because those two things are like, which one is it? But it feels like both, right? I was having a conversation earlier today and, I've been doing this a long time. Maybe even a variety of ways, but let's just take this what I'm doing currently. It's been 11 years. Like 11 years is a long time. Yeah. Right? Like I can't do the math off the top of my head because I don't know what it is, but I think like an average you do 40 hours a week over 50 weeks, that'd be 2,000 minus 80. So 1,920 hours if that's a 48 week work week. So you have a month off, you work 48 weeks a year, 40 hours a week. That's 1,920 hours a year. Easy math, let's just do 10. We'll just put a zero on the end of that. So 19,000 at minimum, 19,000. We'll throw a couple of late nights in there, a couple of weekends. Let's call it a flat 20,000. So they say, like, to become a master of anything, you have to spend 10,000 hours. Okay, well, I'm double that. And I feel like it's just now kind of coming into alignment. Yeah. While also exposing the wild lack of preparation for this season. And so I think there's this tension of both it feels like it's taking forever, and also like we're gonna like contractually be in 2026 with like a guarantee is relative, barring the whole world doesn't fall apart, but like the best year we'll have ever had, and it's sort of already in the bag. And there's a lot of stuff we got to fix. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like for you in this, like this forging, like this alignment, like let's get all the pieces and squeeze them together. How do we, is the goal to like align them and then assume they're never going to be out of alignment? Is the goal to get them as close to alignment as you kind of did this earlier, which I like. Is the goal to like not have it where it's 40-degree swings and we're looking for like 4-degree swings, knowing that the alignment is relative?
Yeah.
What's the hope?
Yeah, I think, so it's almost more like, we'll use the wavelength illustration, right?
Okay.
It's almost more vertical instead of horizontal. And so I think the goal is to get this bottom line to stay a little more stable so that the turbulence is like, how high is our ceiling? And that's going to change on a consistent basis, but having that baseline be a little more consistent.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine that said this to me originally. I sort of stole it from him, and then it's sort of just been like a reoccurring theme I try to remind myself of. But it was more related to like me as a person, but I think it relates to business, and we'll tie it all together full circle here. But I made a comment to him on offhanded. I thought was offhanded, and I was like, I just feel like, oh man, I feel like I have so much going on. I was like, I feel like I'm just doing them. I've never done this much before. And he was like, hey, can I remind you of something? Sure. What's up? And he was like, I've known you for a decade, and I've never not known you when that wasn't the case. However, every time you say it, there's more. And he said, I feel like you like have this unique ability. And that was him being kind. I don't know if it's a unique ability. I think it definitely is an ability, but I don't know if it's unique to me. That he was like, you're consistently challenging the progressive overload of your capacity. And so, to think, like if this is what that Rocky in 2020 was capable of, and then, what happened between 2020 and 2023? Well, it stretched my capacity because I was overloaded. This is all I could handle.
Yeah.
But I had to do this. And over time, the threshold elevated to like, okay, now this is the real capacity, not at exhaustion or to be terrible, but like now is where this is my new capability.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward, and then from 23 to now, it's a whole different kind of capability. So then like, it kind of goes to here. And I think this sort of, I say that because I think there's this sort of like wrestle. I sort of did it like this, but now, thinking about it like this, I think there's a revenue that's a part of that, right? Like there's a part of the working capital / the. But I also wonder if we were better able to identify the causes in the positive to increase the progressive overload, would we have more grace for ourselves in the season of raising the capacity rather than hoping on what would come from arriving at the capacity?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I feel like that's necessary for, I won't say all success, because I think a large population of this country gets to the point where capacity is full. It's like, all right, I've done all I can or all I needed to do. Now I'm just going to sit back and be comfortable and just let that. That's as full as we're going to get. Right. And I'm going to be comfortable the rest of the time.
And for what it's worth. Great.
Yeah. That's amazing for you, for them.
Yeah.
But there is a smaller population of sickos, like us, that
shout out.
We want more. Like that's not enough. And you want to achieve something great. And, that phrase, you've probably heard it in some circles, but new levels, new devils. Like from 2020, what stretched you in 2020 is going to feel small compared to what stretches you in 2023. But you wouldn't have been able to get there.
That's right.
If you didn't get pushed past your capacity in 2020.
That's right.
And so that doesn't stop. All of the great athletes of the past that I'm obsessed with had this challenge, like Michael Jordan, for example. Like the Pistons were his first capacity stretching challenge. He was the best player in the league already, but he kept getting his ass kicked by the Pistons. He just could not get past him. And it took everything he had. But once he did, it was several years before anything else stretched him like that. And he just had his run of the NBA. So like, you have to have that moment of expanded capacity to break through to the next level vertically.
What do you think though is the thing for you specifically that keeps that either made you first aware that you were a sicko, or that keeps you pushing forward when you have to proverbially face the Pistons? Because I think it's, I'm going to say the word easy, but I don't mean easy as in compared to difficulty, but I think it's easier to talk about we want more. There's this, and because I think there is a larger portion of the population who would say at some place they do desire more. Kind of.
Yeah.
But that we hit a threshold and for whatever reason, we're not here to argue the reason, we opt to go, nah.
Yeah.
You know, and same to some degree. We both do the same at certain areas.
Yeah.
There is something though that sort of forces us or pushes us to go, yeah, but there's something else. Why do you think that is for you?
The why is, it's a good question. I feel like internally, I want to see how much is in there or how much can be. Like, how far can we really, speaking about me, not like a business specifically, but for me personally, I'm like, how far can we push this? You know, like how far can this go? And I think I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around the why, like the true motivation behind competition is something that's always like fascinated me. But I mean, that started early, like really early, middle school, high school, you know, playing video games. You know, I'd have my brother, like shout out to my brother, gamer, would put it on easy, like playing Madden, right? And just blow the other team out. And it's like, look at how awesome the Cowboys are. We just won 100-0. I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm going to put it on like all Madden.
Yeah.
Like the first half, you know, I'm getting my ass kicked by like a terrible team. And I'm like, all right, let's see if I can come back in the second half. And he would just watch it and be like, why? Like, just put it on easy. Like, why would you do that? But if I could make it work, if I could come out on top, like through that kind of challenge, that dopamine hit just can't, there's nothing that can compare to it. And then like in high school playing basketball, you know, playing pickup games, when we're picking teams, I want my group of friends that are not as good.
Yeah, give me the scrubs
at basketball. Yeah. Let me carry that team against the really good team. And if we beat you guys, I'm on top of the world. Like nothing can touch that. And so I don't know, just the challenge, the feeling of,
So at this point, okay, let's go with that analogy. It's a great analogy. What comes to mind for me is, okay, so you have unlocked a version. You have unlocked something inside of yourself that says there is this greater desire and drive to be. Whatever, we'll leave after that sentence open. My thought is like, now the drive exists. Do you have to win now with the scrubs? Or could you now win at this stage with 4 other greats on the court? Where could you go?
Yeah.
And to use that analogy, do you feel like you have seen that, transition that, think about that? Or is there still a part of you that's like, I'm going to still make it harder than it needs to be to prove that I can?
I will say I don't intentionally do that anymore.
Okay. So you're not intentionally choosing the scrubs anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's been, you know, as recent as like the last few years. I believe that anyone can unlock that greatness inside of them. Whether everybody wants to or not is different, but I believe everyone can unlock that greatness inside of them. And I want to help with that if I'm allowed to, if I'm afforded that opportunity to. So if I have someone on my team where the skill may not be there, You know, the raw talent may not be there. The experience may not be there, but there's passion and there's drive. Then in my mind, I feel like I can work with that. But there's definitely two sides to that coin because the stakes are higher now. We're not playing video games anymore. You know, we're not playing pickup basketball anymore.
It's our rent. The mortgages do. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So on the positive side, I like stepping into an opportunity to help someone achieve their greatness or to push themselves outside of what they're comfortable with to achieve something that they thought they couldn't get to. I love that. But it for sure at times makes my goals more difficult, not having 4 other, you know, star players on the court. And that's something that I'm having to come to terms with is probably a shortcoming as a leader for myself to not surround myself with all stars or people who are going to live.
Why do you think that is?
I don't want to say believing in people is a weakness. But I think I carried around this false idea that it's, you know, selfish. Selfish. If I build the superstar team, like that's selfish. You know, like who wants that? You know, who wants the
and describe? That's a great question. Who does it?
Yeah, that's the reality. I think, you know, when we first, the psychology of it, I think people like the underdog, right? Like people like to support the underdog. It definitely feels good to be the underdog. But at a certain point, you're not the underdog anymore. Like once the underdog wins, they have switched chairs.
Right. That's right.
And I think that transition has been difficult because I think in the back of my mind, I've tried to hold on to the romantic idea of being the underdog. And so I think like for our brand, when we first started it, you know, for the people, we started with this like Robin Hood mentality. You know, it's like in e-commerce, there was Warby Parker. And then all of a sudden everyone was the Warby Parker of something. And I was like, well, let's be the Warby Parker of like luxury, you know, leather footwear. And so that's what we built. That's what we decided to build, like luxury quality, sell it at a fraction of the price to make it available to more people. And that's for the people. But then, you know, we got some accolades, like some cosmetic, you know, media accolades. And all of a sudden we're selling some stuff and we have a website and we're growing and we're scaling. And then it's like, compared to a larger company, like sure, we're still a smaller fish, but are we still the underdog? Like we're not running out of my parents' garage anymore. Right. We don't have stacks of shoes in our living room anymore. So like, are we still the underdog? Or at this point, are we in the game now? And we need to play to win, which means we need to build
a
winning team. And so I think it's been a challenge for me. And it's pride, like for sure it's pride. Because I've done it for so long, and I'm almost 40. For a while now, I've prided myself on taking those underdog pieces and building a winning team out of it. But now the stakes are higher. That makes my nights later. That makes my time with family shorter. It makes my bank account shorter. You know, it makes the outflowing of cash larger. So yeah, I'm making it harder for myself, I think unintentionally, but being self-aware enough to see that it's the pride of wanting to win it with some underdog pieces.
And today, is Matt the underdog?
Probably not.
Today, who is Matt?
A competitor. A contender.
I would venture to say that the entire time you have been a competitor looking for other competitors to join you. But we called ourselves underdogs somewhere so that if we lost, we already knew it was coming. But to just be a competitor means that you have a sole desire, which is to win. And as long as I've known you, I have only ever experienced the competitor. And I think the underdog mentality sort of low key, it always gives us an out. And I have found, probably similar to you to some degree, when I no longer gave myself an out is when everything changed. When my back was against the wall and there was zero revenue and 30 days to find it, I'm the fucking best.
Yeah.
Because I have no choice. We have to win. I think seasons, though, of that produce this false idea that that's what life must be like to be a winner. And I think that's as big of a lie as the lie that I need to be the underdog to win.
Yeah.
And I think it's, for me, as somebody who's already in their 40s, is sort of this uncovering, this discovering of, if I am willing, it's been a reoccurring theme in my life, if I am willing to sort of take ownership of who I currently am and who I am becoming, rather than who I am because of what I've been, it's a dynamic shift from underdog who plays a game to a competitor who is attempting to win the game. And sort of like all I did was just like shift myself like this.
Yeah.
The activity is there. The gusto is there. The late nights are there. The bloody fingertips for you are there.
Yeah.
All the parts and pieces are there. We don't need new ingredients.
Yeah.
But it's like we're buying bags of flour and we're pouring them on the table, and then we're storing all the ingredients sort of just mixed out there and then proving that we can put them all back together to make something good. Or like organize them really, really well. So when you need it, you get it out exactly, and then automate the ingredients so they come out perfectly right. And then automate the bowl so that so it just comes to you fully baked.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we unknowingly make it harder than it needs to be. Sort of because, well, at least for me, because I want to be able to like still prove that I can. And I was listening to this therapist that I follow, and she made a comment. It was sort of like 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know, like 5 things that every millennial believes are true that are in fact not. And one of them was this idea that like we live in this space where we have begun, we live our life believing that our survival is our greatest gift. And it's killing us.
Yeah.
And just because you can, that doesn't mean that that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, you can find a group of scrappy bad news bears and work hard enough for one win. That's true.
Yeah.
Or you could take all of that effort and belief and find a group of people.
Yeah.
Who also want to win, who are really great, but maybe lonely, and say, what if we?
That's the new season. I'd say I'm 1 foot in right now. So it's a new season I'm stepping into. And, you know, you and I had a conversation earlier this year. You asked me how I was. I said, it's, you know, kind of a mixed bag, because mentally I still love everything you just described. And again, I'm a sicko, so take that for what it is. Like, back against the wall, there's a part of me that loves that.
Yeah. Same.
I love it.
Same. Try me.
Yeah.
Put me in the game. Try me. Watch. Yeah. I'm with you. I
love
agree.
it.
I agree.
But my body is not always there with me anymore. Like, I get more tired than I remember being going through situations like this.
My body, my mind, my emotions, my soul, none of it.
Yeah. I don't think that competitive drive, like the edge, I don't think that ages. I don't think that ever changes.
No.
Like the rest of you does.
No. But we have to find different weapons. I think that's an aggressive example. We shouldn't use the weapon example. But I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like before I was able to like go out, get a stick, get a rope, whittle an arrow, find a thing, build it up, all my weight, all my pressure for one thing. And I was like, look at me, I can survive, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, now I kind of want I kind of feel like I got to perfect it. Like I want to create it to where the thing, whatever this thing is, a weird hunting analogy we're going on. So I apologize. If you're not into hunting, just, you can skip 30 seconds. Like, but like, I want to find a way now that like, I want to use a blow dart. And I want to be so precise with what I'm doing that I can get so close to the thing that I'm chasing, and all the amount of effort it takes because of the expertise and the practice and the knowledge is I can just, I got it.
Yeah.
In the same result that I got before that took me 5 months of,
yeah.
Now I'm capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Immediately. Right. And I find myself often, I gotta be thoughtful about how I say this. Like I think sometimes I have not because I ask not. And I think sometimes a survivalist in me says the reward will be greater by proving that I could do it alone than it would be by asking those who are at the ready to serve to join me. And I think that I'm learning that the first part I used to think was so endearing is actually extremely selfish. That there are plenty of people in the world that are longing for me to ask to help me and to join in the fight of whatever it is that I'm pursuing, that would take whatever my singular efforts would be and would 10x them with 3 of us. But I have not because I ask not. And I have not because I don't ask. And I don't ask because I think there's something more endearing about being able to prove that I could do it without you and to show it to you when I'm finished, rather than inviting you to come in and be a part of it with me to begin with. And I think that's like this odd millennial flex we have of going, we're going to do it by ourselves and I'm going to show you that I can. And then when I do, you'll be so proud of me because I did it without you. And I can just give it to you and you get to have all the reward now. But I don't actually think that's what we were made for. I don't actually think that's what we were created for. Not to get too far into the, like, I don't think that's the gusto, the heart, the soul, the final thread, whatever language you want to use. Like, I don't think that's the reason.
Yeah.
I don't think we were made to go show that we could do it by ourselves and then wait for show and tell in class.
Yeah.
I think we were made to like go to class and like pitch the idea and invite a few friends to join us and see what we could do. And I think there's some of us in the world who are the askers. There are some of us in the world who are waiting to be asked. There are some of us that are going to wait for someone else to be the asker and watch someone else get asked, and then they're going to watch them be successful, and then they're going to want to be asked. And I think all those are great. None of those are right or wrong. But I think as sort of mutual initiators, I think the baseline increases when we ask somebody else to grab onto it with us and help us pull it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really hard for me to do.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And, and again, like the natural, it's like, I don't feel like I'm old, but the natural aging process, like you kind of take inventory of the things in your life and you put things down, just you kind of have to, that don't serve you anymore. Like it usually starts with food, right? Like certain foods that were great in those first 20, 25 years just don't do the same thing that they used to. And so you got to put those down. And so in that same way, how we function in our professional life and our career, there are certain things that like, this is my most valuable contribution and I can do this, but that's not the most efficient thing for me to carry right now. And it's for sure going to take time and energy away from the most effective thing, which lowers your ceiling. To stick with the, sports analogies, like this is real fresh because it just happened last night, but LeBron James, like historic streak of just scoring double digit points in games that he started ended finally. 23 years into the league, like finally ended because he only had 8 points. He also had the game winning assist and someone else made the shot. So like that's picture perfect of in year 23, now in his 40s, what his role on the team has come down to. He's still one of the best players in the league, one of the best players of all time. Number 3, if you ask me. But his role is different. He's not putting the whole team on his back and carrying them by doing everything anymore. Because if he does that, it's for one night, maybe two.
That's right.
He's taking a week off.
That's right. Back hurts.
Yeah.
Ice bath.
Yeah. Mandatory rest. He's missing a few games.
Yeah.
Or he can take a step back, let the young guys do the heavy lifting because they can do that more effectively because of their age and athleticism. And he can really take advantage of his biggest contribution, which now is the mental, because he's been around for so long. He's seen so much. He's won some championships. He knows the game. He knows how to facilitate. So he can facilitate and let them run and go crazy and jump and fall to the floor. And, he's like, I'm cool with all that. But have the game winning assist because he knows where to put the ball when it needs to be there, and how to win the game. And so I think that's for sure. It's a measure of swallowing some pride, but I think that's kind of the point that my career is starting to get to. Not that I'm getting close to retirement by any means.
No, I'm with you.
But if I want longevity and sustainability, I need to be in my lane and performing at the highest level I can in my lane and trust other people to manage their own lanes, which means that I'm not babysitting and micromanaging and trying to pull the best out of them. I need someone who can already give me their best, potentially, hopefully better than what I could do in that lane. That's the ideal scenario at this point. I don't want to have to train you up to be serviceable. I want you to step in and be better than me right away, because then I look at the playing field. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we can definitely compete with them. Like we can contend, we can take over them because I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I can just do my thing. So, but it takes swallowing some pride. It takes maturity. It takes some humility. It takes, and this is all speaking all this like on myself. Like I have to be humble enough to put things down and recognize like, it doesn't matter how fast I can sew, 1,000 MacBook cases. The point now is if I'm sewing 1,000 MacBook cases, what I'm not doing is marketing to grow our business. And what I've realized over the years is what happens is like, cause I'll put that on as a badge. Like, man, I just sold 1,000 MacBook cases. But then when I finish, I look up, I'm like, oh, there's no new sales after that though. What happened? It's because I was trying to do everything. And while this plate was spinning, this one stopped. And so that's, that is the increased wavelength. I have to be the one pushing the top wave up. Well, and I have to let someone else carry the other one. Yes.
But I think in part that's because your greatest capability is pushing the top wave.
Yes.
Not just because you're responsible for it. Right. Because it's actually what just happens to be what you're good at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I find, and I think I wrestle with, and I think a lot of folks I work with, founders and owners or even executives sort of wrestle with is like, the people that I tend to work with most closely are the ones who are sort of in charge of pushing the top. And I think sometimes we create this false sense of going, when am I going to get to not do this anymore? But I think that's kind of like what we were made to do.
Yeah.
You're kind of the pusher at the top. So that it's not so exhausting. Well, then who's going to be at the base?
Yes.
Because it can't be us.
Yeah.
And I think that's a, not better or worse or good or bad or right or wrong or more valuable or less valuable, because if that group of people is not sort of holding down the fort, if you will, then we can't do the thing we're great at.
Exactly.
And if we don't let them do the thing they're great at and we go do a mediocre job because it makes us feel good, now the whole thing sucks, And I think that's a really unique tension to wrestle with. I was with leading an executive retreat the last couple of days with the team. And there were moments where I was like, man, we were gelling. There were moments that I was like, my God, this is so painful. Like I'm looking around some of the, I'm like, what don't you understand? Like, and I'm looking at the CEO and he's looking at me like, for the love of God, can you please help me? And somebody will say something and I don't work there. And I'm like, hey, it's not it. It's not let's try again.
Yeah.
And he'll say something. I'm like, what's that? Repeat it again. One more time. And it's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just that I think sometimes we create this false expectation of what certain people are doing or prepared to do or capable of doing, or let's turn it back on ourselves. We have not equipped them to be able to do to the degree or expectation. I was like, to your point, yes, is the goal when we hire people or have people on our team or our friend group, or we want there to be like a baseline for them to be able to come in and be successful. Yes. But with every degree that we push this level up, the baseline has to follow suit, or the gap becomes even if we stay above baseline, the gap is still huge. Well, we want to do our best to squeeze that gap and sort of grow. Yeah. And I think that's where I'm learning, that's sort of where the new energy has to come from, is my ability to, yes, push the top for all of us and simultaneously grab the bottom, and then I can making sure that you're coming with me. And it's so much less effort because they're pulling too.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but there has to be that. It's hard to get the bad news bears.
Yeah.
To want to do that, because the bad news bears are just trying to get to here.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it feels good. It feels good to help them do that. Mm-hmm. To help the bad news bears win their first game.
Feels great.
Oh man, feels great. But it's not contributing to the larger goal. That's just, it's like a side quest.
That's right. That's right. Shout out gamers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think often in life, we'll go with that analogy. I think it's a beautiful one. I think often in life we can get caught up in the side quests because it tends to provide some temporary relief.
Yes.
And some temporary worth to go, I still got it.
Yes.
Too many side quests though, and you stop playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good reminder. If you're not a gamer, a side quest is something you do in a game that's not the purpose of the game. It's just something you can do inside the game, for those of you that are curious. I think it's a good question like to ask ourselves is, how much energy am I expending into the game that I've attempted to say, this is my life, what I want to play, and how much energy am I expending to side quests because it made me feel good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with the occasional side quest. Is great.
Yeah.
Side quests only. You end up with a lot of supplies and you don't know how to use them.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to fall into that trap because sometimes the game is so long.
Mm.
You had no idea when you started how long it was going to take you to get through this game.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it feels so long that it's never, I'm like, as the end is moving, right? Like we're not getting closer. So like it's moving.
It's got to be getting further away.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. So I do think the occasional side quest, it's like, it's that confidence boost. Yeah. It's like, okay, like I still got it. Like I'm still here.
That's right.
Even like I'm still moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but
I think though, to your analogy though, maybe the game, maybe the purpose is to play the game, not to beat it.
Maybe the journey is the destination.
Maybe.
Shout out Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's hard. Because we tend to struggle knowing how to measure the journey. And it's not impossible, but it takes a lot of work to measure the journey. And so we talk about years and quarters and months and weeks, and we go down the proverbial line of we give ourselves all these ways to go, are we?
Yeah. Especially for a competitor, because a competitor is not thinking about the 82 game season before the playoffs and before the championship. And so they're thinking about standing on the stage at the end holding the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, well, how long do I have to wait before I can, and you're still competing.
Sure.
But if you have your mind set on an ultimate goal, it's tough.
I think that I agree. I think the work though I was gonna say people like us, but it's more fun to talk about you. I think the goal though for like you is to your saying like maybe the game maybe the target keeps getting further away. I just think there's just a different trophy.
Mm-hmm.
So Kobe wins the trophy. LeBron wins the trophy. Jordan wins he gets to hold it up in the air. And then I think I've heard most in a variety of sports of people who win. They're like, we won. It was so awesome. But you know what happened the next day? the next day we were no longer winners or we got to be winners until the season started.
Yeah.
And then the season started, we weren't winners anymore because we're in a new season, which means there's going to be a new winner, which means there's a whole new trophy. Now in sports, it's hard because it's the same trophy, but I think for us, it's sort of that I think if we would give ourselves more credit, and there's going to be some people who I'm going to say this and they're not going to like it because they're going to like, you're soft and you got to do hard things and screw you. So I think there's I think if we were able to recognize the goodness and the beauty and the greatness that was happening daily, I think we would be more apt to sort of, I'm not talking about participation trophies, but I'm talking about a recognition of the journey, a recognition of the little trophies we did win. Yeah. And there are moments we do get to celebrate the big trophy. There are moments we get to the end of the year and we go, greatest financial year we've ever had. To me, that's a trophy, right? We worked a whole season. If a year is a season, we worked all season long and we got to the event, we did it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, hopefully, there's a couple of years in a row that you're going to hit and it's like you win a new trophy every year because you did it again.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a result of that trophy, that marker of your legacy, that marker of impact. Like my sort of phrase I'm trying to roll around in my own head and remind myself of is like a really great impactful legacy is just a collection of mundane things rolled up together. And then we put a bow on it. And because there was enough, we got to call it something different.
Mm.
Like winning the championship, it's not about the 7-game series. That was the final boss you had to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get there by, not everybody just gets a shot at a 7-game series and whoever happens to win, then you got the trophy.
Mm.
It's just a collection of mundane things. You said 82, so I'm assuming that's how many games are in the NBA season. So I didn't know, so I appreciate that. So there's 82 games and there's 4 quarters inside of that. So 82 times 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I don't know what the math is on that, but we're, I don't know, 360-ish something in there, right?
Yeah.
So there's that bringing in a quarter. So there's 360-ish mundane things broken down by the amount of minutes that are inside of a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that. Now we're the thousands of mundane things. And then we break down every time I get to touch the ball. So
yeah,
the end of the season is a collection of 30,000 mundane things that nobody cared if you passed or didn't pass.
Yeah.
One shot or no shot. No one's watching the singular thing.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody loves to look at us at the end with the trophy in our hand. Or they love to look at us in the dugout with our head down because the other team got to storm the field because we lost.
Yeah.
Pick whatever sport we want.
Yeah.
But we're a baseball family in our house. I'm going to use a baseball example because it was relevant to our conversations with our family. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
What an incredible collection of mundane things this season was. The amount of moments he had to share with his dad, the amount of moments he had to share with his team. Now, I get it. I understand. I'm not a professional athlete. I cannot imagine what it would be like to get all the way to the end and then it not happen.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it would be terrible. What an incredible collection though.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people are watching you collect those things and going, man, let's go.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to play the soft side. I don't want to play the trophy doesn't matter. I don't want to play that. I'm telling you, give me the mother trophy. Give me I want to hold it. I want to put it, give me the parade. I want the parade.
Yeah.
I want the confetti.
Yeah.
And that's just a very, 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 very small moment. And a very, very large collection of mundane things.
Mm-hmm.
How do I remind myself more often of the collection?
And I think if you'll zoom out even a little further, I'm going to bring it back to basketball.
Yeah,
sorry.
I
love basketball.
Go.
So I love that we're in this vein.
Uh-huh.
I think what having the right team is,
mm-hmm.
depends on who you ask,
mm-hmm.
right? Having a good team, I think what that does is make it fun again.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you take a further step back, the journey is not winning a trophy. It's not even your time in the professional league. Mm-hmm. It started when I was 5 for the YMCA Bulls in Houston, Texas, and picked up a basketball for the first time. And it goes all the way until I'm, you know, in my late 60s, maybe early 70s, and can still like walk up and down the court and like, you know, put up a shot from somewhere at least. It's the love of the game and it's having fun playing it. And so I think the further you drift into that individual, carry the team, solo, you know, mindset and grind, it's not fun anymore. It's just business. And I know we're literally talking about business. So, but
yeah, I know
the analogy,
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And it's like, if you take the fun out of it, then like,
I agree.
Nothing feels as rewarding. So there's a lot of layers to it, but I mean, I think you're spot on. I think zooming in on the wrong moment will make you miss the entire picture.
Hashtag shit Matt says. I mean, I think it's, I mean, I agree. I mean, and I'm sort of feeling this. I gotta be thoughtful about how to say this. I don't want to, you know, blast out any clients I have, but like I was having a conversation with Sarah, my wife, just a few nights ago of like, you know, things I'm feeling and things I'm feeling about life and struggles in business and like, and look, you know, sort of like the next space and the next level. And like, how do I get there? And who do I find? And how do I sort of level up? And where, like, I'm not in the right, maybe I'm not in the right space, or maybe I'm too focused on myself. I'm too focused on my, getting all the parts right, that I'm like, peel back a little bit, like ask for something. And it was just really interesting. I was somebody that I work with that I really admire. And I think the more I work with them, the more that I admire them. And we're the same age, but like our lives are not in the same place. Okay. So like, we're talking about like somebody who's like, worked the game well. My guy is there. Now, there are so many aspects that like he would say, like, I wish I could be just like you. Right. And there's so many aspects I'm like, I get it. I mean, you probably should be, but also there's a lot of ways I wish I could be like you, you know?
Yeah.
And so we were texting last night. And so, you know, we've been at work together, over the course of the last few weeks. And so I just said, you know, I appreciate it. You know, he's like, hey, I was going to call you, but I knew you were picking up your daughter. And so like, I didn't want to bother you, which again, like I know he's not saying that to everybody. So like he knows me well enough to know I probably wouldn't answer if he called, but he didn't even call because he knows I was on daddy-daughter date. Right. So like, and I appreciate that. And so I was telling him, like, hey, man, I appreciate it. I was like, I just like want you to know, like, you don't have to do it alone. I'd love to see you more. I'd love to hang out with you more. I'm like, I'm a 42-year-old man asking another 42-year-old man who like, we're becoming better friends, but we're also like client relationship, but also like, I know this is weird. Anyway, just wanted you to know. And he was like, yeah, I totally just got to find the time. And I was like, hey, I agree. But like, I trust that we can. And then he said to me, like, and I'm going to different countries. So that like, if I say the right certain ones, it'll be giveaway if anybody's listening who works for him. But like, you know, he was like, well, would you want to go to Spain and Portugal with me? Well, they have a lot of global business, you know? And so, and I was like, yeah, that'd be dope. And he was like, January 20th, you free in that time frame? I was like, hey, I don't know. That's very soon. Yeah. For 2026 for sure. And he was like, great. Hey, I'll get so-and-so to go ahead and work on the visa. So we'll get it taken care of. So like, I don't know what that means. I don't know if I'll actually go. But it took me sort of zooming out and going, okay, where do I feel like this next space is for me to like help me help myself? And sometimes we have not because we ask not. And so via text message at 9:15, I was just like throwing it out there, like, hey, just would want you to know. And he's like, hey, how about I pay for you to go with me for 5 days to another country?
Yeah.
Where nobody can bother us and we can really have dialogue and conversation. And I think it would be really valuable to our relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. You know, and I think there is some of that I am feeling encouraged for this upcoming year. So we're wrapping up 25, going to 26, or I don't even know if this is going to air. Maybe it's already going to air in 26. So whatever year it is when this comes out, but
yeah,
like maybe I'm just going to ask more. And I'm going to trust that if they say yes, they mean it. And if they say no, they mean it. And I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to try to have enough faith that their answer is going to be true. And my job is to ask, not to control the answer.
And the reality is the competitive ego is fragile. So if I'm playing a game to get a win, that's a yes to me. And sometimes call it a side quest, right? Like sometimes making that asking for help, even if it's not a side quest, if it's directly related to the game, making that ask for help can be scary because I'm fighting so hard all day and all night, 24/7, 365 to get this yes. So even a small no feels like devastating to the mission, right? Like to the goal. So sometimes my pride will stop me from asking. Say, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'll do it myself. I can't risk that hit to my ego for someone to tell me no.
And I think that's a very, very profound thing to be clear of and like get over it. You know, like I don't know another way to say it. And like, I hear you and trust me, I feel you. And in the kindest way towards us, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So ask again. Because I look at it and go, because the alternative is at what cost? To have my ego bruised and to say I'm never going to ask again because I only deserve yeses, at what cost? Do I only ever give yeses? Do I always say yes to every ask? No. Okay, so then I should maybe have the same expectation.
Yeah.
And what would happen if I could find a way to be as grateful for the no as I was the yes?
It's valuable.
Competition is hard. Pursuing greatness is hard. Getting beat up in the midst of it is hard. Loneliness is hard. Isolation is hard. Fighting really hard to win is hard. And I think all of those things are human. Maybe some of us happen to choose more of the hard because we're sickos. I don't think that it's any harder though than anybody else's. I think it just happens to be hard for us because we choose it. But if it could also be human, then the no doesn't mean negative. It just means no thanks. And if we were human, the yes doesn't mean because you're the most valuable thing in the world. It just means, yes, please. And I pretty much in my life enjoy both a yes, please and a no, thank you. So if I'm human, it can be both. If I want to make it hard on purpose, well, that's kind of my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you made a statement of like, if the game is no longer fun, why am I playing? Easy or hard? So I think I would encourage you as often as you can to remind yourself, like, am I having fun playing the game? Because the game's going to continue.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ends. Well, it does one day.
Yeah.
When we can't play it anymore.
Right.
And so while we're playing the game, while we have the opportunity to play the game, are we having fun? And if the answer is no, something's got to change. But as long as the answer is yes, even with the side quest, we're probably headed in the right direction.
Yeah. I agree.
And let's do the very best we can to win.
Yeah, of course. Has to be that.
Always. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on.
Appreciate it.
It's great to have you here, my boy. Appreciate it.
Of course.
If you feel like sometimes life is the same way, would encourage you to check out what Matt is up to. We have all his things down at the bottom. As you know how the show goes, we don't always hop on and talk about all of our successes, but there's plenty to list. So you can check them out there, check out his shop, buy some of their leather goods, and be a part of what it is they're doing. And thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Don't forget to join us this month for our leadership training. You can register you and your team at rockygarza.com/confidence.